Comics Review Show, episode number 250.
To fit it, please. That is a lot of change.
Yep.
Good Lord, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Holy crap. We have made it. We are here. As always, my name is Rob, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Josh.
Hello.
And Brandon is celebrating our 258th episode by going and meeting Scott Snyder.
Yes. Standing in line.
Yeah.
He got there a half an hour early and was number 51.
Oh, damn.
There are so many people behind him.
I mean, I don't blame them. The Scott Snyder's a pretty high-profile creator at this point.
Yeah, I would say so.
Uh,
If the comics you're launching get animated trailers put out for them on YouTube, you've made it.
Pretty much, yeah. that's a really good way to put it. Yeah. So that's what's going on.
What's going on?
We are here every week talking about the week's DC Comics releases.
Yep.
And this week is no different. And this
250 of them, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. Today we're going to be talking about Supergirl number 2, Aquaman number 6, Green Lantern Corps number 5, Batman and Robin number 22, and Action Comics number 1087.
Yep.
It's a hell of a lot of Action Comics.
That's a lot of Action Comics.
Yeah. And
granted, the number is a little fluff because that's not a monthly count. The Action Comics was weekly for a while, and then there was some interchangeability with the title of Action Comics and Action Comics Weekly. So I would say that 1087 is probably DC's best guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would want to assume that Marvel and DC have experts on board that can count these issues out. But when Green Lantern got its legacy numbering, a lot of people online that were longtime Green Lantern fans were counting issues. I have no idea how they got to this number. Even if you count these 3 other series or don't count them or count some and don't count others and annuals, none of it added up to the number they gave us. I don't know how.
I wouldn't count on a company having an expert anymore.
I mean, I would assume that the people working there are at
so many
minimum somewhat an expert.
We've got
editors, but the writers.
We've got people like Philip Kennedy Johnson and Jason Aaron and Jeremy Adams that study the living daylights out of a character before they pick them up.
That's true.
But we, then we have others that seem to maybe just write a book just to write the book. Not saying that they're any less of a story, but you could definitely tell the difference between somebody who has 7 long boxes of Superman comics writing Superman versus somebody who's got, a stack of Harley.
Yeah. And here's the thing about when you say somebody is writing a book just to write a book, and it was coming across my mind as well when you were saying that.
That was a rude way to say that.
Well, no. Let me finish the thought here because you got a point. Because someone could just be writing a story because they have a story to tell, and it could fit any character, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about when I was listening to another podcast, 2 years ago at this point, and they were interviewing Philip Kennedy Johnson for his Green Lantern work. And I don't remember how they got on the topic, but they asked a question about other stuff he was writing, how do you pitch ideas and whatnot. And he said he actually went to DC with a pitch for an Aquaman title. I can't remember if he went into any details, but it was going to be a mini series, and he had this whole big story planned out, and Aquaman was going to be the focal point character because he loves Aquaman as a character, and he wanted to write an Aquaman story. And then he did the whole pitch, and it sounded like a great story, but then whoever was pitching to turned to him and said, okay, but why is it an Aquaman story? Why does it have to be Aquaman? And he did not have an answer for that. And apparently for that reason, it didn't get picked up.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. But why is it gotta be Aquaman?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
not necessarily in that tone. Like, why is it got to be Aquaman? Just like, why is
Okay.
this
All
story an
right.
Aquaman story? Not like they don't want to publish
Yeah.
Aquaman. They're just like,
Yeah.
why is this
This
story an
is a
Aquaman story
yeah.
and not like a Flash story,
Right.
right? Like,
What makes
what
us
makes this
uniquely
Aquaman?
Aquaman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And he didn't know how to answer that because he just wanted to tell an Aquaman story. He came up with an Aquaman story, but he didn't have a reason that this story had to be Aquaman. But they wanted that reason for it to be like a thing. So I'm curious if that's how they work with pitches, right? Apart from
I
like
mean,
placing a writer that's under contract with them and say, here, we're going to give you this book, write it. That's a whole different story. But if they're taking pitches, like, is that the whole thought process? Like, why is this story the way it is? Like give us such deep detail. And I like that to a certain extent, but at the same time, when they also give a character and a book to a certain writer and that writer has no fucking clue what they're doing at the same time you're just like, editorial, what are you thinking? You know, what's the criteria here? What's How do you balance this out? How do you figure out who's going to write what? If somebody comes to you with a pitch for a character and story and it's a great fucking story, I don't really give two shits why it has to be an Aquaman story. If it's a fantastic Aquaman story and it's going to sell millions of copies, publish that shit because I want to
there's
read
not
an
going to be
Aquaman
anything
story.
selling millions of copies. Settle down there, Haas. Those days are
I just threw
long
a number.
gone.
Okay, thousands of copies.
There
Thousands of
you go.
copies.
Tens of thousands of copies. There you
Yeah.
go. You want
Yeah.
somebody selling 60,000 copies? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Um. Yeah. That's something funny about the industry, I guess. I don't even know if that's just DC, but that's where I heard about it. Uh. So yeah, I don't know. The industry's a funny thing.
The comic industry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. Little fickle to
Yeah.
be, to say the least.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. But on a side note, we do have some honorable mentions today, and those include Fire and Ice, When Hell Freezes Over #3, Trinity, Daughter
Yes.
of Wonder Woman #1,
No.
DC versus Vampires, World War V #10,
Yes.
Robin and Batman, Jason Todd #1,
Uh.
and Batman Dark Patterns #7.
Yes.
As well in our deferred section to be rounded up in our absolute roundup at the end of the month, Absolute Batman #9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far we've got Superman #8, Green Lantern #3, and now Batman #9 this month.
Yeah, so far, with
Fantastic.
Flash, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter to come.
Oh, and you don't know, they could sneak one in on us too. There's no telling.
That's honestly very possible, but I feel like with how big they're pushing this absolute universe, if they're releasing a new book, they're doing a press release. Even if like it leaks, it's going to be everywhere. Even if they are trying to keep it a secret, I feel like somebody is going to like slip up and be like, "Oh, by the way, 2 weeks from now, Absolute Aquaman."
No, it won't be Absolute Aquaman. I don't think.
No,
I think that
I
the
was just throwing
next
out the
one.
last member of the Justice League.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, it would be Aquaman, but I feel as though if we get another absolute hero, I feel like the 7th member is going to be Green Arrow.
I could see that. Now, what would you pitch for an absolute Green Arrow book? So what we know of these characters so far with the 6 books we have is that the main characters, the origins are similar to an extent, except there is an essence being removed. So what would you change with Green Arrow? What would you remove from his character?
Oliver Queen grows up in Alabama, southern Mobile, Alabama. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Very redneck. They own hundreds of acres of land there. He's raised as redneck. Hell of a shot. prefers bow and arrow over a gun. Gun isn't personal enough. He likes it quiet. Roxxon Chemicals is
Roxxon.
responsible for
That
Roxxon. Oh wait, that's Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
Horton Chemicals
Okay.
is responsible for his dad's death, and so he takes those hunter tracker traits that his dad taught him, and he's honed over his years on the land, and starts taking out corporate never do wells.
Right.
Just off the cuff.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So I'm think what would Green Arrow be like if Green Arrow was Poison Ivy?
Yeah. Be corporate terrorist.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that would be my absolute Green Arrow, but I haven't even dropped that one on the internet.
It's the same idea of Green Arrow, but yeah, it removes like one aspect of his history.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you got some stories brewing over here. I like it.
I feel okay. So like I absolutely refuse to consider absolute Aquaman because of how good the regular Aquaman is, and it feels like that Aquaman is so right there in the absolute universe anyway that I think putting an absolute Aquaman there would not be good.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas in absolute Batman, they did definitely take that grounded approach, a much more grounded approach. You know, I mean, even if the income to cost ratio is still a little, you know, yeah, it is a lot more grounded. But this would be totally different. This isn't Ollie having any money whatsoever. This is, you know, his parents owned, you know, farmland, and you know they've got that kind of money, you know, big farm kind of money, but no corporation kind of money. And he's just out to take out all the he let's see Ollie transition and have to reckon with the fact that he's going from red-blooded redneck to dedicated socialist.
Yeah.
I think that would be such a dope ass fucking book. Because it would be really, it could be really, really good. It could be very, very personal story.
I like it. You should write a pitch to DC.
Yeah, but they don't accept pitches.
Try anyway.
They don't accept dark pitches. I mean, that's like their whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Both Marvel and DC, if you send it to them, they will never do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to do that or not. I could always just put it on Reddit, I suppose.
Yeah, and then like somebody could steal it, and then at least you get to read it.
Right?
Yeah.
Guys, like there's you know, hey Google, what's the address to send in comic ideas to DC Comics? DC Comics said fuck you in 1999.
Gives you the address to Dan DiDio.
Yes.
See what else happened this week. What else happened?
It goes to Rob Liefeld, and he's like, "I can make a parody out of it."
Oh god damn it! How's he gonna shoot arrows with no feet?
I don't know. Poor little Tink Tink.
We had the last Superman trailer, which is the trailer that was basically saying, "Hey, tickets are on sale."
Yeah,
and
boy.
Might be my favorite fucking trailer because, like all the other trailers, and this is what I love about James Gunn, not much plot shown. Definitely can't tell which act is what. You can't tell anything with James Gunn trailers, and I love that. You get action shots, you get some personal moment shots, and you get an idea of the characters. And that's all you need in a fucking trailer, right? And James Gunn excels at that. But this time, what's different about this one that I really love is that we got to see better shots of Superman actually fighting. It wasn't just flash cuts. It was like you actually got a few seconds of fight choreography. And you got to see a bit of personality of both Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. And
Yep.
I love both their personalities right off
I'm
the bat.
so sad. I'm so sad.
About
Rex. I'm Metamorpho.
yeah, why what about him?
We don't see it. We know he's in there.
Yeah.
We don't see him for shit.
I mean, he was in one of the trailers. Actually, no, he was in two of the trailers.
But we
But
don't
only for
see
a
him
second.
for shit, right?
Yeah.
So does he die and then we get that baby Jack or whatever his name is?
Mm-hmm.
Or is Metamorpho what turns into the kaiju?
I mean, that's a possibility, but I don't think so, because from what I'm understanding, and I'm honestly mostly basing this off of the McFarlane figure releases, and I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. The kaiju is actually from Luthor Corp. Like Lex made the kaiju. Like
Lex made the kaiju. Lex made Ultraman.
Yeah, and
Are they going to replace? Well, okay. So does that mean that it very well could be possible that they replace Stag Industries with Lex then?
with
making
Lex.
him responsible. Yeah, making Lex responsible for Metamorpho rather than Stag Industries.
Could be. That could very well be. I haven't seen anything about Stag at all. The only thing I've seen is I mean, I haven't actually seen LexCorp or Luthor Corp mentioned, but if Lex Luthor's there, the corporation's got to be there. And oh my god, what's the other name of the company? Shit.
Luthor Corp?
No. Oh my god, hang on.
The other name of the company. I'm sorry, catch me up again.
No, the name of the other company.
What other company?
There's another company in the movie.
Oh.
I never
Is it
remember.
A popular DC company?
It is Lord Industries.
Ah. Yeah, there's Lord Industries, Cord Industries, Terrifitech.
Yeah.
There's also Holt Industries, but Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, does not own Holt Industries, and a lot of people get that confused.
Yeah. And there's Wayne Tech.
Yeah, Wayne Tech. There's Powers,
Stag Industries,
and right now. Oh wait.
Queen Consolidated, Luthor Corp.
Is Enigma Industries done?
Yeah, I think that was just a shell corporation. I don't think that was ever. Yeah, I mean, not technically really a shell corporation, but I mean, like, he got arrested. I don't think it's sticking around anymore.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, in this movie, that like you can assume there's going to be Luthor Corp and there's Lord Industries.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Super sweet. Oops. Oh no.
Now, a lot of people online, at least specifically in the Green Lantern chat rooms and whatnot, and subreddits, people all over the place are just saying like the casual audience is not ready for Guy Gardner's arrogance. they're just not ready to see Guy Gardner be a dick on purpose. Um, and to be fair, he's a lot. And this whole thing is based on the fact that in the trailers that we've seen, a lot of people are already commenting about Guy Gardner just looking like a prick. It's like,
Well, Guy
I
Gardner
already
is a
don't like
prick.
this guy. I'm like, yeah, you're not
You're
supposed
you're yeah.
to.
Yep.
Yeah, that they're not ready for how much of a dick this man really is and how much you're gonna hate him. But at the same time, he's a dickhead, but he's one of the most honest, heroic, courageous, and loyal superheroes to ever be on a team.
He's just a massive asshole.
Yeah, but he'll take a punch for you any day.
Yeah, he's a massive
Yeah,
asshole. He's a massive asshole that you can always count on.
exactly. Yeah. Right? The general audience is not ready for how much you're going to hate this guy, and then by the end of the movie, fall in love with him too. Because that's what happens with Guy Gardner. That's the Guy effect.
Well, that can take quite a long time.
Hey,
Because
I
when
mean, we
I
say
was a
that because of
kid,
the comics.
yes, when I was a kid, I hated Guy forever.
He did not
Like
have any endearing qualities when you were a kid.
I would drop off a Green Lantern comic when he was like predominant in it
Oh,
for
really?
longer. Yes, like
Oh, shit.
his whole personality just. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But
Yeah, no,
as
he's a
time grew
little piece of
on,
crap.
it was almost like no, not almost. It definitely became a love to hate him
Yeah,
kind of relationship that I
it's
had with
and
Guy
it
Gardner. So
still is.
I stopped being repelled by him and just enjoyed hating him. Enjoyed really enjoyed hate reading him. And then you get to know him as time goes by, and he does get a lot of good character development, and he
Exactly.
does turn out to be, even though okay, what's the easiest way? Guy Gardner is the hardest Green Lantern in existence and history to be friends with. Yet
Yes.
he is the absolute best friend you would ever have.
Exactly. But now, to my point though, like this is, you've got a point that yeah, it could take a very long time, but we're only saying that because we are
Of
longtime
comics.
comic readers, right? And
Yeah.
that's because it did take us a very long time to find
Mhm.
any redeeming qualities about Guy Gardner. But James Gunn might just take the modern concept of Guy Gardner and sprinkle in a bit of 90s
Yeah.
personality and just like have him be very dickheadish and bullheadish like he was in Justice League International, but then have his modern day charm be the forefront by the end of the movie, right?
Can I just say I would rather it wasn't. I would rather he was just this massive asshole that you had to learn how to love to hate
Yeah,
and then deal with the fact that is gonna slowly turn into hating to love.
right.
I would rather that and give me his new 52 haircut
Oh,
than the bowl cut, because
that
that is where that's
that's
gonna get the most hate.
that's not coming anytime
Yeah,
soon.
I'm more than aware of that.
At least I hope not, because I love the bowl cut, and that is Nathan Fillion. That was all him actually. Apparently, when he was cast, he turned to James Gunn. He said, "Give me the bowl cut. I want the bowl cut," because he is a fucking fan. He knows what's
Nathan
up.
Fillion is like a master class in
Yeah,
nerd.
I love
Hell
it.
yeah, absolutely.
If anybody could play Guy Gardner well, it's him. I think it was the perfect choice. Just seeing the little few clips we did of just how he's portraying Guy Gardner, he's got it down. I'm
Yeah.
so fucking stoked.
He's definitely a particular kind of actor, but well, hell, let me put it to you this way. And if, for example, in Big Mouth, Nathan Fillion plays Nathan Fillion, and there's nobody that could have possibly or potentially even shit all over Nathan Fillion and made fun of him as good as Nathan Fillion did in that show, and
Yeah.
then came back the following season and voiced a character who they acknowledge is voiced by Nathan Fillion. Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Wow.
He's just yes. I have always been a fan of him
Yeah.
from back when he I mean he's tried his hand in serious drama roles, but
Yeah.
he's a goofy nerd at heart, and it's good.
Yeah.
I think that's where his home is.
Hmm. I've enjoyed everything I've seen him in,
Yeah,
from like the preacher in season 7 of Buffy to Mal Reynolds in Firefly to freaking that giant ass alien he voiced at Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
right.
yeah,
I mean, from Firefly to Big Mouth, for crying out
yeah, yeah.
loud. That's quite the spectrum, man.
And while I haven't watched like any full episodes, I've seen a lot of clips of the Rookie, and it looks really good.
That's what I was talking about when he had like his more serious
Yeah.
roles. I would call that his more serious stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's good talent. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them on the screen. I really truly hope that there are no hero deaths in the first one. I just don't know if we're gonna have it. Obviously, Mr. Terrific isn't gonna die. Obviously, Guy Gardner isn't gonna die because these personality setups are too poignant. And,
Plus,
and,
he's
and,
supposed to
and
be in the Lanterns TV show.
right. So, but we've seen very little of Metamorpho. We've seen very little of Hawk Girl.
Yeah.
So these things make me
I, I'll
nervous.
I'll say this now. I'll bring up Thunderbolts. Have you watched Thunderbolts yet?
No, no, not
Are you okay with like a mild spoiler that really won't like spoil any plot?
yet. Excuse me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna base this, and it's further to your point about Metamorpho, solely on what a lot of people figured was going to happen in Thunderbolts based on the trailers I got for Thunderbolts. It was presented with the whole cast of characters from Ghost, Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, Taskmaster, and U.S. Agent. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I'm not counting Bob.
Oh,
Um, but and here's the thing: while they were marketing it as this is the team, Taskmaster was in none of the team shots.
nope.
Absolutely none. And she was maybe in like one scene in one trailer for a quick cut. She was not seen anywhere else. So a lot of people are speculating that she's gonna fucking die, isn't she? First half hour, she's dead. Right?
Imagine that.
So you might be on the nose here about Metamorpho as well. Like, we're not seeing him a lot. I'll say we've seen enough of Hawk Girl to
Yeah,
imagine that
some
she's going to
action
stick
scenes.
around. Yeah.
Yep,
But like I said, we've seen Metamorpho twice
in the
for some quick cuts.
blips.
We
Yeah,
saw an image of his face, and then we saw him in a glass prison cell, and that
yep.
was it. There's maybe a chance that he's not going to have major plot in this movie, and that he might even die. You're right.
Yeah. Poor Rex Mason might not make it to Superman Part 2.
Yeah.
That's too bad. It would be really interesting to see what they could do if they are able to keep him around as a comedic character. Because let's face it, I mean, at the end of the day, Metamorpho definitely is that. Um,
Oh yeah, no, he definitely can be.
just yeah,
I don't see
just
Anthony Kerrigan
naturally in
playing
his
him that way though.
personality.
Yeah.
You don't see Anthony Kerrigan
Play, playing
playing
him
him
that
that
way.
way.
Yeah, just like the brief glimpses we got of him, and just knowing Anthony Kerrigan, like he could definitely be a funny guy, but I just don't see Metamorpho being a comedy character in this movie.
We'll
But who
have to see
knows? I didn't think Mr. Terrific would be a comedy character either, and yet the clip we saw of him it's actually kind of funny. So,
It's funny because you saw Mr. Terrific yell at Superman,
yeah.
and like When I say yell at, I don't mean like raise his voice. I mean he disciplined him in front of
Yeah, it's like, get the hell up. We got work to
people. What the hell are you doing?
do.
I'm doing important things down here.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the Superman movie. I think this is going to be a pinnacle. Obviously, Christopher Reeve has been a pinnacle for many decades now, and for many people, and if not everybody, it is the definitive Superman movie. I think this might have a chance of taking the crown.
Ooh,
That's my personal
that
opinion.
sure would be something.
No other Superman movie has come close to dethroning Christopher Reeve's Superman movie, the first one. I think this has a shot, at least. It
That
looks
would be
so
something,
fucking
man.
good. Looks so good. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. I trust in James Gunn. We've said that many a time. I
Yep.
can't wait. We got mere weeks away for the premiere. My wife has already said she wants to go see it. She normally doesn't say that about comic book movies unless she's really excited about it. And if she's excited about it, it better be fucking good. You know it's going to be good. So,
It better be. But,
yeah.
you know, I mean, hell, James Gunn just doesn't know how to screw up.
Yeah, he should make a Fantastic Four movie.
Fucking. No, I need him in DC for a while.
Yeah.
And then I need him to reconsider the Blue Beetle decision.
Did he
Thank you.
like vocalize that Blue Beetle is out?
Yeah, it's done.
Uh,
Yeah, it got mentioned here a little bit more than a few months ago, I want to say.
damn.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
it is. It is a shame. Not a fan. Not a fan.
That could have been an easy one to like sway into the ongoing, like he did with Peacemaker.
Yep.
Yeah.
You would
Oh, well.
think, but
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's about all I've got. You got anything?
what else do you need, man? No, I ain't got
$1
shit.
million?
If I had $1 million, if I had
Dijon
$1
ketchup.
million, I'd pay my way into DC Comics so they could riot my absolute green arrow story.
Yeah, so I guess we will get into our books, won't we?
Oh, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Good. Goody good. Oh, I got my license last week.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. For people that live in Canada, it's the G2. I got my G2. For those that live outside of Canada, it's basically the license. There's still another tier above called the G level license, which is like fully licensed. I'm technically half licensed, right? I'm still practicing,
Yeah.
but I'm allowed to drive by myself.
Yeah, they do graduated licenses here.
Yeah.
You have to get in so many hours with another person driving and then move on from that and do so many hours.
I mean, shit, they don't check that here. You take a written test for your G1, and that's basically your learner's permit. You're not allowed to drive alone. You're not allowed to drive after certain hours, and you're not allowed to have any passengers. You have to drive with a fully licensed driver that has been a fully licensed driver for 5 years. Those are the main rules. No alcohol in your system whatsoever. No distractions. Nothing. They're the same that would be for any driver, really. But then you do that for a year. They don't ask you if you did any practicing when you go for your G2 road test. They just assume you did. Right? So I did that.
What? I was like about it.
No. If they didn't ask, there's nothing to lie about. No, I definitely got some practice, but like not as much as most people would. I didn't take any instruction or I had instructors, no lessons. That just went right in.
Hell yeah.
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 No insurance is gonna be a bitch.
It's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well, what can you do? But yeah, that's sorry. I forgot about that. That's my last bit of news. All right. So, see what we got first.
The Nintendo Switch 2 came out, and I got one for my kid for his birthday, but I can't give it
Yes.
to him until this weekend.
I was gonna ask when his birthday is. That's right. I forgot the Nintendo Switch 2 came out
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine. Mario Kart World is hella hard.
Yeah.
It's the Mario Kart I've always been waiting for.
Awesome. That's great news.
Yeah, like as a long time Mario Kart player and somebody that considers himself
Pretty damn good at Mario Kart.
pretty fucking good. Yeah. This one's difficult, and I'm excited to get online to have my ass whooped.
Need to do it. Need to do it. Wouldn't be prudent if you didn't. You using a
They
pro controller?
No, I don't have those yet.
Ah,
I just bought the thing that came in the box with Mario Kart World combo kit, and that's it. I did not go for any accessories yet.
that big ass. Because the joy, not just the system is bigger, but the system is bigger. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that
like the
means
actual
that
screen and the console
the
itself. Yeah,
Joy Cons are larger too. So
not by much.
the grip that you put them on is larger.
Yeah,
That big ass square is half the size of the fucking Switch. That's your controller now.
yeah,
I knew from last time that I absolutely had to have the pro controllers because I can't handle the Switch controllers are just too small for my hands.
yeah.
So I have to have the pro controllers, and I snatched up 2 of those. So,
Right.
good deal, good deal.
Yeah, I got to get one. I loved my Pro controller for the first Nintendo Switch, so I definitely have to get the one for the second. It's honestly it was one of the most comfortable controllers I've ever held.
It really is.
Yeah,
It really is.
it's got a wide center, so your hands don't feel squished.
Mhm.
Right? It's fucking great.
Yep. You know what else is great? The magnetic attachments.
Oh my god, tell me about it. It is awesome.
If you have any idea how many Joy Cons I went through on that first Switch,
Oh yeah.
because the Dash just drops shit. He just does. It's just
Mm,
something that's going to happen.
yeah.
He and I think I have probably in the lifetime of that Switch purchased a dozen pairs of Joy Cons.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. If not a dozen, pretty damn close to it.
Plus, how many Pro controllers did you have for the first Switch?
2.
Two. That's like $1,500 of controllers right
Yeah.
there. That's crazy.
Yep. And it's all because when he would drop it, it would snap.
Yeah.
The Joy-Con would snap where it slid in.
Hmm.
And sometimes you could put it back in there, but not very often. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't last long. Certainly wouldn't last past the second drop. But these ones pop off. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. I like it a lot. But now we're going to talk about books.
Right after we talk about our sponsor, Happy Day Sparkling Alcoholic Water. This flavor is Death Row Records. It's grape and it's absolutely wonderful. Happy Day, just in time for a Father's Day. I'm just kidding. That's not a sponsor. I just really like this shit.
I was going to say, when the hell did we get sponsored? Why are you hiding this information?
Surprise!
It's a hell of an episode 250 surprise. Yeah.
Right? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just FYI, Happy Dad, I would be happy to sponsor you. Or Bullet Bourbon. I love you guys. So, I'll pedal it all day long. You send me that free shit, I'll be walking out on the street trying to sell it for you.
Just if you're like,
What's
if
that?
Bullet Bourbon is sponsoring us, that means you're gonna have to drink it on the show.
I am A-okay with that.
I mean, I know you are, but how funny and messed up would it be to have drunk reviews?
Oh, even better. I'll have to pre-game. I'll have to drink quite a bit to get drunk.
Oh yeah.
But sounds like a plan to me. Bullet Bourbon drunk comic reviews. I like it. Happy Dad drunk comic reviews too. We can do that. We can do that.
Oh, is Happy Dad alcoholic?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Death Row Records flavor.
Interesting.
Which is great.
Even more interesting. Why?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Why?
Why is Death Row great?
I don't think I can answer that for you without it being racist.
Fair. Fair. Who was it made Death Row?
Suge Knight.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real big dude.
Yeah. All right. No sponsors. Now we're going to talk about comics. And we're going to start off with Supergirl #2. This is written and drawn with cover by Sophie Campbell. Colors from Tamara.
Covers. Right there
we go. Yeah. Colors from Tamara Bonvillain and letter from Becca Carey. So we open up back in Kandor, where Lesla Lar is a teenager. I think she's a young adult at this point, wandering around Kandor, just trying to find her place in the world. She feels like a bit of an outcast. She is plenty smart, but not quite smart enough for the Science Council and every other Kandorian in existence. She's also the same girl that Kara saved in the first issue when she had a brief appearance in Kandor and then quickly brushed her aside. That stuck to Lesla Lar. I keep forgetting her name. I keep wanting to say Lara, Lana. There's too many Superman characters with L in the name. I'm just gonna fucking say it. Why did they have to call her Lesla Lar?
I don't know.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Like any other letter, please. I'm getting my L's confused. But yeah, so she takes some of the tech that she has and figures that Kandor is not the place for her anymore, so she uses a teleporter to escape to Midvale, because she also figured out that Supergirl is actually Linda Danvers. She was a huge fan of Supergirl, tracked her down, figured out her entire history, and went to Midvale, used her technology to hypnotize her parents into believing that she was Linda Danvers, using her own kind of makeup brush that can change her appearance at will. But also the sun, seeing as she is a Kryptonian, gave her immense superpowers like every Kryptonian does, except she got really swole and tick, which is not like
he means curvy. That's what he means by swole and tick. He means she got curvy.
Sorry, you had to translate millennial.
Yeah.
A little voluptuous for the poopers out there.
Look on your face. She's swollen tick.
It's not tick. For Christ's sakes, man. It'd be tick.
She's thick.
Not tick.
With 4 C's.
2 C's.
And
there's an H in there, for God's sake.
4 C's, I'm gonna say.
Well, that's just filthy, Rob.
The funniest story aside, I used to work with a guy that what the fuck? He told us a story one time. He went with another coworker to a card shop one night for D&D, and the other guy that worked with us, he played D&D a few times, and he was taking our buddy over for his first game ever, right? So he was learning the ropes, and they were explaining it to him, and they were starting out with the character creation, as you do. He ended up a paladin, and everybody ran around the table explaining their character, who they were, their class, their race, whatever, etc., etc., their background, their character traits, personalities, etc. We get to the guy his first time. He says, "I'm a paladin," and he describes the character and everything. Um, and the last thing he says, like, "And I'm super tick," just out of nowhere, just unprompted. He's like, "I'm super fucking tick." It's like, oh,
Super.
okay. This is a thick
Tick
paladin.
is not a good word for thick. Why are we doing this, Rob? Explain this to me.
It's
Thick
probably,
is fine,
it's probably
but
Toronto
why?
slang.
But why is it tick? Oh, that is true. It could be Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what everybody, like, we know it's thick, but like it's just, it was like a funny way to just say it. And I grew up, everybody around me always said it, like, yeah, she ticked though. Like, it's like I said, Toronto
It could be
accent
Toronto. It could be
is
millennial, and
it's
I've
an
just not.
amalgamation of like all sorts of cultures into one accent, and you'll get like a bit of Caribbean, a bit of East Asian, a bit of Canadian, a bit of European. It's all mixed up into one fucked up accent, and it comes with its own language. So I have no doubt in my
It's
mind
called Toronto.
if tick is a Toronto word.
It could be.
Yeah, I would not be
Thick
surprised.
isn't, but tick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think. I hope. I hope that's just Toronto.
it could be. Anyway, my other buddy that I still talk to that I've known since high school, we heard that story, laughed our asses off, and ever since then, Pally Tick has become part of our vernacular.
Pally pick.
Pally Tick, yeah. Like she tick like a paladin. She pally tick. So I do apologize if it is comes across as misogynistic in a way, but the best
That
way to
she's got a
describe it.
paladunta.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny. But the best way I can describe Leslie Lar after gaining her superpowers is she's Pally Tick.
I hope you remember that when you're around your friends next time.
Oh, I'm going to take a screenshot, send it to my buddy, be like, I called this character Pally Tick on podcast today. How do you feel? My co-host, she's got a pallet dun dun dun. Oh my god.
Good times, good times.
Can't believe we never thought of that. That's fucking genius. It's been like 5-6 years now since that's been a thing, Pally Tick, and you come at me with this. Oh my god, I love it. Anyway, that's my funny story on the side.
Perfect.
So yeah, Lesla has superpowers. She's Pally Tick. She's changed her appearance to look like Linda Danvers and hypnotized the people, or at least her parents, to believe that she is Linda Danvers. And
her friends, I think it says.
No, because we do see actual Linda Danvers with her friends later on in this issue.
Oh, I got it twisted.
So yeah, then
I thought she was sitting with her friends, but they didn't realize it was her.
No, that was the real Supergirl. So yeah, she then uses her powers and various pieces of technology to help the citizens of Midvale, but also up the ante a little bit and create some disasters that she has to save people from to make them love her even more. And then we jump back to now at the end of last issue where our Supergirl ended up at her parents' house and finds God, now I want to say Lorna. Jesus Christ, I keep having to go. Lesla. We having to go back to the first page to like remember her name. Lesla, 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 Lesla Lar.
Laszlo.
Lesla, fuck off. Lesla
Laszlo.
Lar. I hate you, Lesla Lar. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, they're confronting each other in the stairwell, and Lesla unleashes Titano. Of course, she just had Titano in a fucking Kryptonian Pokeball for some reason. But here we are.
It was definitely an Ultra Ball though.
Yeah, Titano's a high level.
Yep.
Which immediately destroy the Danvers home, and then both Supergirls quick changed and started fighting Titano because that's what you got to do. Lesla just made a freaking diversion, but while Lesla is using this as a way to get the people of Midvale to love her more because she will take Titano down, Kara is the one that is saving the people, and the people are noticing it. So then they start to question if Phony Girl is really such a phony because she saved us, but the Supergirl we know and love is forgetting all about us. So what's going on? Lorna sees this happening and is kind of pissed off that Kara is getting the people to safety because she wants the people to see her. And since nobody's around, she decides to make quick work of Titano, blasts him with some kind of laser, and he falls unconscious for all of 3 seconds when he wakes the fuck back up and starts blasting them with kryptonite eye beams. Kara takes the upper hand and points the eye beams directly at Lorna, hoping that she is Kryptonian, and she is. She falls down, ever so weak now, but the makeup is also dissipating from her body, so the people can now see her true appearance, red hair and all. Uh, she gets really upset, screams at Kara that you've ruined everything, and she flies off. Then we see our Kara with her friends. She's just a mile away, mind wise, trying to figure out what to do next, and calls one Lena Luthor, the teenage daughter of Lex Luthor. And after everything that's happened, she has taken her grandmother's house that was in Midvale and is using it as a lair, she calls it. Even though she's not really a villain, she's calling it a lair for fun. They work together to try and figure out what's going on with Lorna. Not Lorna. Oh my god. Not Laszlo. Damn it, Josh. Lesla. I hate you. You fucker. Anyway. Okay, fuck another L word. Lena is going to help Kara try to figure out Laszlo's tech. Because fuck you, Josh. I'm stuck in my head now. And meanwhile, they do a bit of a fashion show of sorts as Kara tries on all sorts of her old outfits because her current one has the Phony Girl emblem on it and can't get it off. So she goes through all of her old costumes till they finally pick one that remind me, is this that one from the 80s? 70s? You're muted.
The one that she's got on at the very end?
Yeah.
I
It
was
looks so
actually, I
familiar.
didn't get a chance to, it looks familiar, but I feel like it's one of those ones that may have like popped up for like a very short brief of time, maybe like I'm thinking maybe an arc or
Could be.
two, like a
Yeah.
very short period of time, but it's always included on those costume lists.
Right.
I
But
think
like
that's what it is.
silver age, bronze age though, right?
Something, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
definitely got a classic feel costume.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I recognize it because I've seen it plenty of times, but not because it's familiar to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's probably on like costume lists and not from something that I'm remembering reading. But
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a cool costume.
I do too. Yeah. It's kind of like a V-neck shirt. She's got the S logo over her heart. She's got a short red cape, booty shorts, and some weird looking heeled shoes. But meanwhile, Lesla has decided that if the people aren't going to accept her as Supergirl, she's not going to get what she wants. She's got to do something different, doesn't she? She'll have to be someone else and dons her own costume with thigh high boots, a corset, and a short cape with a Kryptonian seal with the L on it, which that's the crest of her house as an L.
Yeah,
So,
because her name is
Lesla, not Laszlo. You fuck.
Laszlo. What though?
Lar.
Laszlo Lar.
Lesla Lar, yes.
Laszlo Lar.
I hate you. But one note I'm going to make to this, because that's the end of the issue. Then the two superheroines are standing next to each other on the page, and it looks cool.
It does.
Lesla is definitely becoming a villain because her costume is green and purple.
Yep.
There's a bit of orange in there too. It's just honestly, it's secondary colors versus primary colors.
Green and purple. It's just done. Green and purple, and you're gone. You have
Yeah.
trans.
Yeah.
You have crossed over to the dark side.
Yeah.
And just you know what, their cookies are not a good enough defense anymore. They are good, but
I don't know, man. If you tried the Emperor's cookies, the
did.
lightning just makes it, dude.
it's like done like that.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Should see what you can do with a pack of
cookies.
chips. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's a bunch of bullshit. Very tempting.
Anywho, this is a fun series so far. I actually really like it. Sophie Campbell's doing a terrific job on this book.
I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it too.
With
Yeah.
the plot, the character designs, the art, I think fits it so well. It is really well done. Like, of course, it helps that she's writing and drawing it. And I
Mhm.
love that Kara is getting kind of her own arch nemesis in a Kryptonian fashion, because I don't think she's ever had a Kryptonian arch nemesis, has she?
Not to my knowledge. No.
Like Clark has had Zod,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But among others, right? Eradicator, etc. But I don't believe Kara's ever had a Kryptonian adversary. And now
No?
she does. Yeah, so this is actually really interesting. I like it.
Fucking Kandorians.
Yep, can't trust them.
Can't trust any of them.
Nope. Yeah, so I like it. I like it a lot. This is a fun little book. Very cute character moments, fun characters. Lesla is actually very intriguing. I still don't understand the curvy nature when she was imbued with superpowers, because literally no other Kryptonian that ever had superpowers from a yellow sun became curvy like that. So I don't understand why that happened. That's just kind of weird. Yeah,
You get that? She got that booty in there.
not even that. Like her arms became so freaking ripped.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, like big ass muscles.
She did. She like instantly got jacked.
Yeah,
She was smaller than Kara
yeah.
before.
She went from, like, for wrestlers, she went from Liv Morgan to Jordan Grace in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know how that happens.
No.
'Cause it ain't steroids.
Yeah. It was crazy. Crazy as hell.
Crazy as hell.
Yeah, so that's
Well,
I like the character. I like the designs. I can't say I have anything else to say. That's about all the notes I have. So yeah, Lena was a nice surprise. I forgot to write down about Lena. Lena was an interesting surprise. I like that Lena is involved, and I hope that Kara and Lena become compatriots together, like co-stars of this book, if you will.
I definitely feel like Lena will be hanging around.
Yeah, I do hope so, and I hope this book lasts a while, because it's actually really fucking good.
And see, I'm holding out hope. I mean, first, this is This is fun. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the art. It's a good, fun read. I like what they're doing. But there's the thing. We have all these female characters that are really good characters. And
Yeah.
they are in enjoyable stories. And then we have then we've got the rest of the DC universe. So female solo books, rest of the DC universe. Fucking Harley, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Power Girl, but that one just got canceled. Supergirl. I mean, we've had also. Excuse me. Also, Hawk Girl had her limited series.
Yeah.
Galaxy. I mean, there's it keeps on that keeps on happening, and they're all solo adventures where anything can happen. None of it's really connected to the major universe at large, which can lead to some fun stories. But are these solo adventure type, low impact, fun books enough to keep a series in print?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't for Power Girl, and Power Girl was more than just a fun book. It was actually really good and a lot of character development for the character. I just don't know. Power Girl getting canceled makes me worry about all of these, and I don't know how to check sales figures.
Yeah.
I used to, but I haven't done it in years. But this Supergirl is great. I hope it gets to stick around, like Rob said. That's my concern. This is a really fun book. Good art. Goes to Campbell. Always a fan. I'm gonna give it 7.75 out of 10.
Yeah, I will give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. And to further your point, which you do have a very good point, when you have these like fun solo adventure books, like
Everybody loves them, but
yeah,
is
but
everybody
they
buying
don't
them?
necessarily have the staying power. Poison Ivy was far from a fun solo adventure book. It was very
Exactly.
serious, it was very
Yep.
dark, it was very gritty, and
Exactly.
that sold gangbusters.
Still does.
Still does. Yeah. I don't see Supergirl having a book like that. It works for Poison Ivy because of that character's history, though. Kara was never that kind of character, so unfortunately, I don't think that same effect could happen with a character like Supergirl. But I do hope that there is some way to have this character have longevity in a book again.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
It's a fun fucking title. It really
All of
is.
them would be great. And it'd be great as if like we got an Omen and Power Girl.
Yeah.
I loved that fucking series. Okay, I'm a little bummed out that it's gone.
I hear
All you comic fans let me down. But
you.
there we
Yeah,
are.
I was really happy that Shazam was a book too, and it got canceled.
Right. Well, that's all right. No use crying over spilt milk and or water. Let's move on to the next book. Aquaman #6, brought to you by me. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Michael Shelfer with colors from Rex Locus. I gotta stop running into my desk. Letters by Dave Sharp and the cover from John Timms. While we left off with the big mystery of what happened to Mara last issue, we find no answers in this one. Instead, we get to see exactly how badass this Dagon is in comparison to all the other Dagons, I suppose. God, if there's one thing that I just wish I could change about this story is pick a new name for the bad guy. DC's got, I feel like, a million Dagons.
Yeah.
But this Dagon, he quickly and effortlessly kills a bunch of oceanic gods from across space and time, and then reanimates their corpses. Fun times.
Right.
Meanwhile, Arthur, Orion, Nemo, and Vivian are making their way towards Dagon themselves, not without running into a bunch of problems that they have to fight their way through, including a massive sea monster. They get pretty close as they find where Dagon had all the gods collected and killed them. They get attacked by those undead, and then they find something called the Cask of Capture, capable of holding anything inside. They open it, desperately hoping to be able to beat back the gods, thinking that whatever the gods had trapped in there, it was because they were afraid of it. Out floats a bubble of water. And then it whooshes around, cleanses the gods of their undead infection, allowing them to slump to the floor and die in peace. And then the bubble of water turns into its natural form, that of Wonder Twin Zan, who I'm sure plenty of comic book reader knows that they can transform. Zan can transform into water in any state. And he pops up, says, "Hey, Aquaman, long time no see." So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the book. No Mara mystery solved, but a new mystery introduced. It seems like Zan is considered quite the threat level for some reason. He definitely doesn't look very happy for somebody that just got rescued, that's for sure. Um, so I'm curious about that. I'm really curious about that. He looks like really sad. This again is a title that does not fail to deliver. While this was more of a transitional issue in the story and a display of Dagon's power, it moves things along nicely and keeps me hungry for more. Every issue of the art has looked amazing, and I have to say that the exact same thing about this one. Colors too, which are so important in an Aquaman book. Um, Score 8 out of 10, man.
Yeah, it's everything you said and more. If I can just comment really quick on the subtle change to Aquaman's costume as well. The orange is a little more muted, it's a
Mhm.
little darker, and the pants and gloves are blue. They're like a
Yep,
dark navy-ish blue instead of green, and it works so well. It looks
yep.
so good, and
I
it's such
like
a
it.
subtle change that I wonder why the hell it was never that way before. Unless it was and I forgot.
Not
But
that I mean, he's had blue outfits before.
yeah, but I
Aquaman
don't think like
has
this.
worn blue, but no, he hasn't had this before. And you're right. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's like you're not even really recognizing that it's different unless you're paying really close attention to the colors. But then you
Right.
see and you're like, huh, that's actually really dope. I like it. Yeah. Um, I love the design for him in this book. I really do. The cast of characters, as I almost want to call this an ensemble book, but it's not really. Everybody else is kind of just supporting characters, but they are all fantastic. Um, and it's just getting bigger now. Zan, that blew my fucking mind.
Right? I didn't see that shit coming at all.
No, I never
That
would
was
have
like
seen that
really
shit coming.
surprising.
Yeah, because that opens so many questions. How did he get there? What's the extent of his water abilities now? Why was he in that bottle? Why is he such a threat to Dagon? Yeah.
Well, he was a threat to those gods, and those are oceanic gods from across space and time.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, that's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean, you raise a point. If they're the gods from across space and time, what time period is this Zan from? He could be
Oh,
from the
that's a good
future.
question, too.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he's all depressed.
could be. Jane is dead.
Oh, I hope his sister's okay. I hope the monkey's okay.
Bippo.
Glee.
Oh, that's Gleek. Yeah. Which one's Bippo? Was that the Bat Monkey?
That's Beppo, the super Beppo.
Beppo.
Excuse me.
Beppo.
Beppo, the super monkey.
Super Monkey. Yeah. I don't know
Yes.
why I thought that was a Bippo. No,
Everybody thinks it's
Bippo
Beppo.
makes lighters.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Beppo makes life.
Yes. Okay. There's my confusion. um. Yeah. No.
For
This.
someone that doesn't smoke and hasn't smoked anything, how do you even fucking know that?
Why do you think I've never smoked anything?
Because you're very familiar with the Bippo lighter brand? Is that what you're saying the answer is?
I I used to smoke.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
okay.
No. I used to be a cigarette smoker. I know quite a lot about smoking culture.
I miss smoking cigarettes so much.
I don't.
I do.
I mean, I'll be honest. Sometimes it was nice to just like go chill and have a butt and
Yep.
relax, but
I
it's expensive.
have. It's been. I don't even know how long. Over a year? Has it been a year? Over a
Must
year.
be.
It's been a
Since you last
while.
had one, yeah.
Yeah,
Impressive. I'm
but
proud of you, buddy. I'm proud of you.
I've never had a day where I haven't wanted a cigarette multiple times throughout the day. Not one day.
Yeah,
Yep,
I believe it.
not one day. I haven't quit smoking cigarettes. I've quit buying them. It's lasted this long.
Yeah.
I I heard give it 3 days. I heard give it 2 weeks. I heard give it 3 months, and then you have nothing to worry about. Here I am, like a year plus later, and I'm like, I really hate it when I walk out of a store through a parking lot. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that smells good. Can I just go stand in a humidor for a little bit? I just want to smell tobacco.
I know you guys are all having a smoke. Do you mind if I just stand here and like sniff
Just
you for a
stand here.
while?
You guys mind if I smell you for a little bit?
Breathe into my mouth.
Yes. Just no way. No way.
Yeah, I get
Oh,
that.
I
Now,
do. I
it's
do. I do.
the one good thing I could say about smoking was a great way to meet people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just
It was a very
you
social.
go to a smoker area and just strike up a conversation with people. Just like even join into one. It was so easy because when people are having a smoke, they're so chill.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It's
It
actually you
was.
mentioned that you stopped buying cigarettes. That's how my dad quit smoking as well. Where he used to take the subway into Toronto to go to the building he worked at,
Uh,
and he used to pick up a pack on the way there, and then one day he just was like running late for his train, so he said, "You know what? I'll buy it tomorrow." And the tomorrow came. He said, "Oh, I'll buy it tomorrow," and then I'll buy it tomorrow, and then I'll buy it, and tomorrow never came. He just never bought another pack, and then he quit smoking. That was
that's
that's really cool.
that's some bullshit.
Why is that some bullshit?
I wish I could. I wish I could never want another cigarette again. I wish it was just
I mean, I don't know that he never wanted one again. It's just that's what he did. He just kept putting it off. He quit by laziness.
done. I mean, I guess you do what you've got to do, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You do what you got to do. I got sick real bad for like 2 weeks when I got COVID, and Holly was like, um, "I'm never ever buying cigarettes for you again."
Yeah.
And then I went up and started getting them myself
Hmm.
after that, and then I got told what my lung capacity was, and she started crying in the doctor's office and all that shit. No, I can't smoke, or else I think she'll kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Do you?
I do. I really do.
Because it
Actually.
feels a little unfair.
I know.
Does it? Do you? Because hear me out. Okay. If I smoke
Uh-huh.
and I die from smoking,
Right.
that's going to take years.
Right.
But if she kills me for smoking, it happens instantly.
Yeah.
Isn't the smoking the lesser of the two evils?
No. Because by not smoking, she has you longer.
We don't know that. Statistically speaking, we don't know that lung cancer could pop up at any moment.
It could be. But also, statistically speaking, if you continue smoking, the chance of getting lung cancer is a lot higher.
I mean, yeah.
So, Don't do it.
Brandon sent us pictures of
Oh.
our presents.
Oh?
Oh, to Josh, I pledge you,
Oh,
Scott Snyder.
sick.
Fuck, I love you, Scott, so much. Thank you. To Rob, you rock.
You
Oh,
rock.
that's
Nice.
that's awesome on death metal.
Yes. To Glenn, I think just a signature. But still,
Oh,
on
yes,
Superman
dude.
Unchained. That's dope.
That is super dope. That is so cool.
Oh shit. Oh wow. Brandon, if and when you listen to this, you're the best.
Man, are you guys kidding me? Neither one of you guys have ever listened to an episode.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, horse shit.
I told you I've listened to episodes. I've
Two-
even
two-
given live
200
commentary while I'm listening to it.
220 episodes ago.
I've even like
All right.
messaged you guys while I'm listening, be like, "Oh man, I wish I could have read about this book because I would have said this or talked about this book." While you guys, when you said this, I would have said this. Like I gave like my personal live commentary while listening to it.
I don't want to hear your excuses.
Your
What I
excuse.
do want to hear is your opinion on the Green Lantern part.
Well, before I get to that, I got to give my score for Aquaman because we kind of just went on a tangent.
Oh, I guess
about smoking.
I guess that did happen, didn't it?
I don't even know how we got there, but
I don't know, but now I'm on a fucking cigarette.
I knew that conversation was a bad idea. You know, Aquaman is fantastic. It is another book I hope has a lot of longevity. I believe in Jeremy Adams. I think he's writing some stellar stuff. I've loved everything he's written. Okay, I say that with a grain of salt because I wasn't in love with his Flash at first, but it grew on me very quickly. But ever since I fell in love with his Flash, I've loved everything he's written. Um, so yeah, Aquaman is just fucking fantastic. If you're not reading it, check it out. If you're an Aquaman fan, do yourself a favor, read Aquaman. If you're not an Aquaman fan, read this. You might become an Aquaman fan.
Mhm.
And if this doesn't do it, read the first 3 issues of Aquaman Rebirth. That'll do it. that solidified it for me. Yeah, so this Aquaman number 6 is going to get an 8.5 out of 10.
Well, alrighty then. I believe in Jeremy. I believe in Jeremy. Jeremy Adams at DC writing the core. Give me more. I believe in Jeremy.
Oh, it works so well. I'm happy you caught. That's why I'm saying I believe in. It's because of Joe Hendry. It's because of Joe Hendry. It's got to be.
Careful!
Anyway.
Don't say if you say his name again, we're probably gonna have to pay royalties to get him to show up on the show, and we don't have that kind of budget, Rob.
But if I say his name, he'll appear, right?
Right, and we can't afford that. We don't have the licensing money. You don't have a lotto.
I don't care. I want to. Joke's on you. I got 2 tickets over here.
Joke's on you.
I could be a millionaire next week.
Could be. Could be.
No, I never win. Most I've had was like $5. Should I think I got 15 once.
I've won $20 on a scratch off, and that was like the most I had ever won, and it was like a lot to me.
Yeah.
But then I won that fucking computer. And, I mean, you're talking like 44 years of or however long. I know it was like 2 years ago or whatever, but never winning literally anything, and then I won that computer.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was dope. Anyway, Green Lantern Corps number 5. Holy crap, we're at issue number 5. Doesn't feel like it. I swear this is like issue 2 or 3. This is co-written by Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams with art from V. Ken Marion and Serge Acuna. Colors from Marie Prianto, Rain Burrito, Hi-Fi, and Lee Loffridge, and letters from Dave Sharp, with the cover from Hernando Pazarin, Claire Albert, and Arif Prianto. So, Ellie, Kelly, and Simon are still stuck in the mind maze. The latter pair find Kelly reliving her memory of gaining the gauntlet. However, it's not going the way she remembers it. The rogue lantern that is around telling her that the glove is dangerous, she needs to take it off, was not part of her memory. So they make quick work of him thanks to Simon's ring, and they get her out of there. Kelly is able to open doors to different parts of their minds, and they go on their way. Simon's turn now to relive a memory where he finds his brother-in-law, Nazir, dead. Unfortunately, he had saved it. Well, not unfortunately. His brother is dead, unfortunately. Comma. He had saved him. Had saved him previously if you read Jeff Johns' Green Lantern back. Or was that in Green Lanterns? Shit, now I don't remember when that happened. But he saved his brother-in-law's life. He woke him from his coma, used the power of the ring, which never got addressed after that. But I hope Jeremy Adams can do that because he's bringing it up here. Nazir does kind of attack Simon at this point and again talks about the gauntlet. They get Nazir off of Simon, and Ellie opens another door, this time leading to the deathbed of Kelly's abuelita. And once again, abuelita wakes up and talks about the gauntlet. However, this time a door appears that Ellie did not make, but it's not a regular door. It's some weird glowing demonic looking door. And it's apparently is tied to the gauntlet. Kelly just wants to be with her abuelita and even attacks Simon as they try to get her away. Ellie is able to open one more door, and then she is spent. Her energy is just kind of like knocked out of her. Kelly comes to her senses, and the trio escape. They get out alive. They're able to take down the mercenary that was in the shop that they tried to buy the power cell from, and they are safe. However, they don't know where Ellie is because Ellie is still in her mind. Or their mind. Maybe it's Kelly's mind. I don't think they really got into that. Meanwhile, Guy Gardner and Narf are still
Narf.
are
There
still
you
fighting
go.
Evil Star.
Say his name with respect.
Exactly. They're still fighting Evil Star, but Evil Star has a giant blaster as well as a whole bunch of mercenaries to go with him, and he's alerted everybody in Acropria to look for 2 rogue Green Lanterns. That's when Guy Gardner pulls a button out of his jacket, clicks it, and that button alerts Space Cabbie to come to Guy Gardner's aid. Space Cabbie forgot that button even exists because he gave it to Guy years ago, and everything's digital now. So what the hell's up with you, Guy? Get with the times. He comes crashing into Evil Star's office, picks up Guy and Narf, and they take off. The quickest and safest way out, though, is through the bowels. Guy's not too happy about that, and they are chased by Evil Star and all the mercenaries that work for Evil Star because they have jetpacks, and they're actually getting the upper hand on Space Cabbie. So Narf decides that it's time to throw his weight around. Guy's done a lot of teaching for him and saving his ass. Now it's his turn. So this little lion cub of a lantern jumps out of Space Cabbie's cab as Guy Gardner screams after him, but with a roar of "Beware my power," fucking Lionos himself turns him into a giant freaking monster and just wrecks Evil Star's shit. Guy then reveals his new opinion that Narf is awesome, and even rebuttals with, "Actually, I'm his teacher, so I'm awesome." Why
Correct.
not? Guy and Narf actually get Space Cabbie to pick up Kelly and Simon, and they head off together. And that's the end of the issue. I don't know how Guy knew that Simon and Kelly were there. But yeah,
He didn't. Space Cabbie did.
I
Space
guess
Cabbie knows all.
Space Cabbie knows all. It must happen.
Space Cabbie knows all.
Yes. It's a new catchphrase. Space Cabbie knows all. I like it. Right. So that was Green Lantern Corps number 5. It is a fun series. It really is. Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams have really taken this to its, pardon the pun, core. They've found the fun that Tomasi had with his run in Green Lantern Corps and made it work. Like, this is adventures of various lanterns. There's not going to be one focus character in each book. There's going to be different focus characters in each book. There's going to be different lanterns showing up. There's going to be Earth-based lanterns. There's going to be alien lanterns. There's going to be lanterns from all over the galaxy. There's going to be supporting characters. There's going to be villains. This is a Green Lantern book with many fucking characters. So for everybody that read the first issue, like, oh my gosh, it's another John Stewart book, shut the fuck up. He hasn't been in 2 issues, 3 issues now. So
had to kick it off. Get the hell over it.
Exactly. And anybody complaining that, oh, it's all about Earth lanterns. No, stop it. Just enjoy the ride you're on. Fuck. Narf isn't from Earth. He's from, where were the Thundercats from?
Thundaria.
He's from Thundaria.
That's Nerf, not Narf. But I love Narf.
Close enough.
Nerf
I love Narf too. Narf. No, so this
I invented a voice for Narf as like when the first time I read it because of Snurf. I invented a voice for Narf, and yes, Narf, 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 and it's very, very similar to Pinky in the Brain, but I don't care.
That's fair. No, it's a fun book. It's got everything I've ever wanted in a Green Lantern Corps book. It's got fun adventures. It's got various lanterns. It's got lantern excitement. It's got a great supporting cast and new lanterns like Narf. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I really freaking can't. Plus some mysteries going on. Ellie is in Kelly's mind still. She's still stuck there. I wonder if they'll find out. It's kind of fucked up. The art, fantastic. V. Ken Marion is just terrific and really should have drawn Green Lantern stuff a long time ago. I'm kind of sad he was not doing it already. You know?
I feel that.
Yeah. He's so fucking good. So I'm stoked on this book. I can't wait to see what stories they have brewing. I really can't.
An idea of one anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I like it. You got to tell it. But before we do that, I'm just going to share my score. It's an 8.75 this issue. It gets bonus points because I had Space Cabbie.
Fair enough. Just having Ellie hang around as a living construct without being able to get too much deeper into how that's possible isn't, in my personal opinion, something that is sustainable in the long run. However, we do have a no parents, no older sibling, unusually enabled teen pseudo lantern sitting right here, who's just so happens to now have Ellie locked in her brain. And I'm wondering if there's not going to be some sort of a ghost in the machine kind of situation. We're not looking at potentially Kelly and Ellie being one from now on and putting John and Simon in a unique little brother, little sister situation.
That would be interesting. If I could piggyback off that, what
It would turn Ellie into the entire Green Lantern's little sister, the entire Green Lantern Corps' sister.
Yeah. What if Ellie became like the onboard computer for the Gauntlet?
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, well, have you ever read or watched Ghost in the Machine?
No, I never got around to watching that.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm thinking like, yeah, that like that it would become the consciousness of that machine. Her spirit would live within it.
Right.
That's what I think.
Fair enough.
That's what I think is going to happen, because I don't think her just being a living construct without, and ever getting any further into that. I don't think that that's got much legs. I don't think it'll last for too long before people get tired of it.
Yeah. Fair enough. We'll have to see, because just what this pair is doing with this huge supporting cast that has been built is perfect. I love it. You know,
Fucking yeah, I definitely know what you mean, man. I'm very glad that they didn't retcon how Kelly got the glove. I was worried about that after reading last issue. I had a lot of stuff I loved in this one. Ellie, a living sentient construct stuck in the mind of Kelly, what we've been talking about here. Kelly, again, not a traditional lantern, so who knows what that gauntlet is going to translate or turn into in relation to Ellie being stuck in Kelly's mind. Which brings me to a side note. When we first met Joe Moline, one of the things about her was that her ring was much different than the other rings. It didn't need a battery. It recharged itself. It wasn't quite as powerful. Didn't fully act like a regular ring either. Was that left by the wayside when we went through all the batteries getting destroyed, or was that addressed? I'm completely blank.
I can't believe you're going to make me talk about that Green Lantern run. Both hers and Hal's ring in the final issue, their rings became normal rings because of space fuckery. Nobody knows. Nobody knows why. Just like nobody knows why Chip became a Blue Lantern inexplicably, and now he's not.
Well, he's not anymore.
Or not Chip.
That was a stupid fucking idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same idea. Like the Source Lantern did some shit and turned Hal's and Joe's rings into normal Green Lantern rings.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because the Hal's ring was also one that he forged from his own will.
Right.
Right.
Mm.
It did not need to be charged. It did not need to be connected to any central battery. It was just powered by himself. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then somebody went and ruined it.
Yeah.
And then ruined his analog.
So, yeah. Thank you for making me talk about that Green Lantern story.
You're welcome. Anyway, that's not this issue, which I did thoroughly enjoy. The art's fantastic. That's not even the right word. Some of these panels are downright beautiful. The story doesn't even let me look up from the page. Green Lantern Corps continues to be a shining light among its peers, even with a cover like this, of which I'm not that big of a fan. The facial expressions are quite a bit exaggerated. Past that, though, this was awesome. 8.5 out of 10.
Well, fuck you. This isn't a contender with one of my favorite covers of the week.
Contender. I'm always a bummer on the ones on the faces that are over exaggerated. Doesn't take no detective to figure that out. And I am with it, Batman and Robin with a rip through it. Number 22. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Javi Fernandez on pages 1, 2, and 6 through 24, with Carmine Di Giandomenico on pages 3 through 5. Colors from Marcelo Mialo, and letters from Steve Wands with a cover from Fernandez Amalo. So, all right, Batman and Lautrec are finding that the method of murders has been around for centuries all over the world. That just thrills Batman. Meanwhile, Damien is in a cage. He recognizes that it is indeed Atticus Bly, Bruce, and Lord Lautrec's former teacher, and he's confusing Damien for Bruce, as Bruce went by Jack when under Bly. He keeps calling Damien young Jack. As I mentioned the last couple of months, this dude reminds me of Etrigan in the way that he talks. It's not him, but he sure does show up in this story. And on Cam.
Ooh.
Cam, yeah. He
Yeah.
wouldn't shut up until I promised I'd let him get on the podcast.
How did he rhyme it?
How did he rhyme it?
Yeah.
Well, I do believe what he said was, if you want info, if you wish this info once again, appear I must, the demon Etrigan. Something close to it.
Damn.
Anyway, it's not him, but
you freestyle rapper, you did
he
that off the cuff.
Sure is in the story, and tells Batman of how Memento came to be on the earthly realm, spawning from the depths of hell. Meanwhile, the irregulars are doing as Batman said, looking in places people don't look. Well, they stumble upon something all right. Damien, recently gassed and being attacked by Atticus Bly, but looking as Memento. Bly turns and sees the little troop and quickly and with a rhyme leaps at the irregulars. And that is the wrap for this issue. This is good. This is just so fucking good.
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping this was not going to be a Scooby-Doo. There's all this magic and mystery, and then, yank the mask off. And it's just, if it wasn't for you kids. I'm glad we're not getting that. This feels real. I feel like it would undermine the whole story, and the story's been great so far. This issue included great art. Not super detailed, but it is the kind of art that grabs you in a story like this and makes you pay attention. It's grade A, 8.25 out of 10.
See, when you give it nothing but like praise and call it grade A and how grabbing it is, I expect a much higher score than 8.25.
8.25 is a great score.
I just feel like it's a little low for a book like this because it is fucking stellar. I'm still like, they've got me questioning things left, right, and center. It is by and large a mystery story. It's a detective story, and they've got me questioning shit all over the place. I'm still not convinced that Atticus Bly and Memento are the same person, even though they're definitely, like, Johnson's definitely guiding us in that direction. Something tells, it's just, I don't think he's the same person. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But we'll have to see. But no, this issue is just amazing. Having Etrigan around, Lautrec and Jack kind of reuniting, and Lautrec just be like, by the way, young Jack, I know who you are. Like, I'm not a dumbass.
Reuniting, and it feels so good.
I was like, that was a cool little thing. I'm thinking, if you have a detective like Lautrec that has been in the business for so long and trained with the same detective that Bruce did, there's no way in hell she's not figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Right? There's no way. I'm happy that Johnson just let it happen.
Excellent story choice.
Exactly.
Because anything else is it's just too hard to believe.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't remember some of the minor story beats in this issue, but the parts I can remember, I'm just freaking over the moon. It is so good. The character work is fantastic. The plot is brilliant. Having what did Batman call those boys?
The Irregulars.
The Irregulars. That's it. They're an interesting little touch. Very interesting. Even going as far as like, yeah, he told us to go find some rich kid, but fuck that. We're gonna go play in this abandoned city real quick.
Right?
Like how are you gonna do that to Batman?
He said, "Look in the places nobody looks."
Nobody
Well,
else, yeah.
nobody looks in here.
Yeah. I mean, the kid's not going to be here, but we're still going to go look.
Maybe.
And then
never
he
know.
ended up actually being there. But that one kid was like, there's no way some rich kid's going to be down here. But we're going to look anyway. By the way, here's a car. It's like, oh my God. That was fun. This is getting an 8.75 as well. From me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, to score under a 5, you guys have to feel like you're dying and really, really super dislike something. And the person that wrote it.
Dying.
But next,
I scored a book in the past few weeks. I scored a book like a 3.
But I feel like you were really mad at it.
I can't
remember what it was.
Yeah, I was really mad at it.
You were really mad at it.
I wish I could remember what it was though. But yeah, I fucking hated that issue.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, all right. That's enough action. Let's time to get some action.
Yeah, what he said.
Yes, not what I said because I stumbled my words, but you know what I meant.
Well, I mean, you said it anyway.
Action
Comics featuring
brought to you by Happy Dad,
Superboy, technically also Superman, but this is the start of a new arc as part of the Summer of Superman, and this is written by Mark Waid with art from Skylar Patridge, colors from Ivan Placencia, and letters from Steve Wands, with the cover from Ryan Sook.
And this Superboy up in the letterbox.
Yes,
not
Superman, because
not Superman.
The focal point of this issue, the main character, while Superman is involved, and I'll get to that, is Superboy. Superboy is the main character in this issue. So we do open up in Metropolis in the present day at the Expo of Tomorrow, where Superman has joined Mayor Perry White to give Legion flight rings to a whole bunch of kids that are programmed to just go just fast enough and just far enough to give the kids a bit of a thrill and stay within the fun dome. But beyond that, this little Expo of Tomorrow brings Clark back to a simpler time when he was just a 15-year-old boy. Because growing up, he loved the Expo of Tomorrow. So he does a quick change back into Clark Kent and then just goes and explores everything and then reminisces even more. Back to the summer he turned 15 when him and his parents took a bus to Metropolis and were able to stay overnight and spend all weekend at the Expo of Tomorrow, which, despite the fact that he has seen supernovas and traveled the galaxies and seen aliens made of all sorts of materials, the Expo of Tomorrow is the one thing that is stuck in his mind as the most wondrous thing he's ever seen. I would say it's because of the first wondrous thing he's ever seen, but I don't blame him. Something like that can kind of stick with you. So he was all ecstatic to go, and they went to go see all sorts of stuff, but not before Jonathan forced him to go to the Yesterday and Tomorrow Pavilion, where he learned about all the heroes of the past. Pa Kent told Clark growing up about all sorts of masked mystery men and women from when he was a kid, and even quizzing Clark and teaching him about their escapades and adventures and how they defeated certain characters. Because even from a young age, as we all know, the Kent parents knew that Clark was going to be something special one day. So Pa's mission was to teach Clark as much as he could about being a hero by learning from previous heroes. And it was a damn good choice. Um, Clark did bring his prototype Superboy costume, while he hasn't actually at this point in time made an appearance as Superboy anywhere yet because the Kent family feels it's just too soon and they want him to be ready. They need to figure out what answers for potential questions they're going to have because there will be questions. Um, he packed it, he's wearing it much against their will. They didn't want him to bring it yet because they don't feel he's ready, but he brought it anyway. While they're at the pavilion, they are attacked by some weird guy named Rays, claiming to be from the future with some weird ass tech or mental abilities. It's kind of vague about what exactly his deal is at the time. But Ma and Pa can't just look at Clark and say, "Go make us proud." So he changes into his Superboy costume, saves a whole bunch of people, but not before Rays is able to kill a few others. However, this is Clark's first adventure using his superpowers in public, and even more so, his first fight. He's got to figure out quickly how to fight this guy without killing him because he didn't want to do that. He does figure it out though, using the lessons that Pa Kent taught him. Using his cape to form a tornado, which was a lesson he was taught that Jay Garrick used one time. Disorienting Rays, removing his helmet, and this caused Rays to just fall unconscious. Clark didn't even get to say anything or barely even lay a finger on him, and he just passed out. At that point, the crowd gathers around Superboy and just wants to ask all sorts of questions, take pictures, and this is when Clark just flies off super quick. Changes back into his regular clothes and goes to see his parents again. And that's where his adventure for the time being ends. And while older Clark as Superman had been narrating this entire time, he does mention that with what happens next is a great question, and they were not the only ones asking. As we see General Lane in the, I guess, boardroom of some shadow organization, all wearing red hoods with a picture of young Clark Kent on a dossier, as well as some man watching the news in some mountain mountaintop house, I'm assuming.
That's what it looks like in the Trump morning briefings, by the way.
Red hooded people surrounding a round table.
Yeah,
With
everybody
of
eating
kids on a dossier.
while they're all eating Ed McMuffins and hash browns.
I knew I had to have McDonald's because that's his favorite food. Fucker. Yeah. Meanwhile, some mystery guy is also watching the escapades of Superboy on the news. Um, while the news is saying that the strange boy in a red and blue costume was rescuing bystanders, this man uh, disagrees vehemently, saying that he was out of control and he wasn't protecting those people, and then leaves the house, says that won't do, new boy, and then floats into the sky, backdropped with the moon. That's the last time we see him for the time being. That's the end of the issue.
Who it is?
No fucking clue.
Lies. Tell me who it is.
I honestly have no clue. We need to get Glenn on.
Damn it.
We need to ask Glenn what he thinks.
Glenn, tell me who this is. I need to know.
I mean, any supporting Superman
good,
character that I know of
know.
that can fly like that isn't this that doesn't scream their personality, right? And they wouldn't be around on Earth at this point in time.
Who, John? Martian Manhunter? I can't think of anybody else who it could be.
Yeah, but like Jean wouldn't like automatically assume that Clark as a teenager was harassing those people instead of protecting them, right? Like this is a guy that has a bad viewpoint on a lot of things. Right? Very negative viewpoint, which screams to me this guy's either a little unhinged or he's a villain type. But any villain with flying capabilities I know of would either be too young to be this guy when Clark is 15, or not on the planet when Clark is 15, right? So it could be somebody new, or just
It
somebody I'm
can't
not
be
thinking
somebody
of.
new. There has to be somebody old.
Doesn't have to be, because this could just
I
be
mean,
like he
but
could
it's from a
die at
long
the end
time
of
ago,
this
right?
arc. Yeah, but he could die at the end of the story arc.
I mean, that would be unfortunate. Hate to hear
Yeah,
somebody die.
yeah, it would suck, but could be his own fault. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I have no ideas who this guy could be. But I'm curious. My curiosity is piqued. I really liked this story. Um, it was just fun to have a Superboy adventure again, and that it didn't feel forced, because it wasn't just like, here's a Superboy adventure, take it. It was backdropped with not really Superman adventure, but Superman story in a way, because this whole thing is him reminiscing about something that's happening in his current life. And I liked that it had a bit of a better flow to it. It wasn't just force fed to us. There was purpose to this. Um, and that kind of made it more interesting. The whole thing being I don't know if monologue is the right word, but like it was narrated by Clark the entire time, adult Clark. That was brilliant touch. Really liked it. It's Clark telling us a story,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
and it
very in
was
character.
yes, and it okay. So it felt like Clark telling us a story, and not just us going through Clark's inner monologue. And to
Yeah,
me, there's a big difference there, and this did that very well.
yeah,
Well, props to Mark Wade on that one.
yeah. No, this was really well written, really well done. Um, yeah, it's I'm gonna not. Okay, I don't know how. I'm gonna call it a really good Superman comic. That's what I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna call it a really good Superman comic. This for now is going to get, and I'm honestly hemming and hawing about what score I want to give it, because the art was really good too. I really liked it. Though I really like Skylar Patridge. What am I gonna give it?
Well, for me, I thought this was okay.
Nine. Giving it a 9.
He's giving it a 9. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate the book. The art is great.
8.75.
Um,
I changed my mind.
I think it was an okay read. It was a little fun. Just basically a retelling again of Clark's debut as Superboy. Altogether, not bad. Weird little thing at the end with that guy there, 2 panels. We'll see where that goes. But the rest of it was just kind of something to read. All in all, I'll take it. Did have great, great, great art. 7 out of 10.
Right on.
Indeed, and that is the end of the Geek Matrix's show.
For this week,
Almost.
not ever.
Right. Far as we can tell, anyway. Should we jump into the top 3?
It better not be the last week. Yeah, let's get into the top 3.
I talk bad shit about people on this podcast a lot. You never know when one of them is going to turn up. Wrong person doxes me. It's going to be bad, and it'll probably be Tom King.
He's got CIA connections. Remember.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. My
What did you get for your top 3 favorite moment?
My top 3 is very simple, because they all got the same score. What's not so simple is what order I'm going to put them in. But I think I'm gonna
Ain't that a
do
bitch?
Action Comics at number 3, Batman and Robin at number 2, and GLC at number 1. But I do very much think that Supergirl and Aquaman also would have deserved a spot in the top 3. They just got a quarter point less than the top 3 books. All 5 books this week scored pretty much the same. It's either 8.5 or 8.75. Favorite moment? I got a few this week. There's so many great moments, but I gotta give it to Narf going full on Lion-O and just fucking Evil Star up. It's fantastic. Backdrop that with Guy just praising himself for being a great teacher. Love it. It's
Yep.
perfect.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I picked two just in case you took Narf.
Right. Fair. Fair.
Because mine also comes from Green Lantern. My top three, I give Aquaman to third place, Batman and Robin second, and Green Lantern Corps gets to first place. And then my favorite moment, absent of Narf, is going to be Space Gabby showing up. Of course, that's a deep cut, and I loved it. I don't know. I'm a Lobo nerd, and there's one of my favorite Lobo stories has it where Lobo hires Space Cabby. Lobo does a bunch of bad shit with Space Cabby, and then leaves Space Cabby, and then Space Cabby gets charged with reckless driving, murder, and a bunch of other shit. Later on, Lobo comes back, saves him, and returns his cab. But for a while there, he was being pretty Lobo. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. Shit, that's a long ass time ago, 1995. But man, that was some good stuff.
Damn.
So yeah, seeing Space Gabby show up, I was like, hell yeah, that's an old fart poke for me. I liked it.
Yeah. Did you ever read Guy Gardner Reborn?
No.
You should check it out because that's it's definitely not the first adventures of Guy and Lobo, but Lobo has a very central point to that entire story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 3 issues.
Right.
It was like old format with like not quite a hardcover, but not like a floppy either. It's like an oversized book. Remember what you know what I mean? It's like how the Elseworlds were published, like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Written as a trade, but it was 3 books. And it was the bridge of Guy Gardner from being a Green Lantern to getting the Yellow Ring.
Nice. All right.
And I explained that story. And Lobo was a central figure in it. It's hilarious. It's actually a lot of fun.
Will you send that to me so we don't forget? Will you text that to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
Awesome. Now, as for covers, we're gonna pick our favorite cover of the week. Honestly, not a great week for covers for me, but let's take a look at them again. Yeah, way too much text and way too much hype going on the covers. But we've got Action Comics, Batman and Robin.
That was good.
Green Lantern Corps.
I really like that one, but I'm also a sucker for Fernando Pasarin.
Aquaman.
Dynamic.
And Supergirl.
That one's really cool.
And while all of these are, good in their own different stylistic ways, I could pick them apart. This one, less so. This one I actually really, really do like. It's a little busy, and a lot busy. I prefer not quite so busy. And I think that Aquaman just narrowly beats out Superman. So I'm gonna go with Aquaman this week.
Aquaman. Fair enough. I complete opposite. Don't mind text on a cover at all. So I love.
I know.
I love every cover this week. But like I've said, like I'm a sucker for covers that tell a story. So Aquaman is going to be one of my lower ones this week because it's just a still image. There's not much here apart from really cool art, and it's not that it's a bad cover. It's a really cool cover, but it doesn't stand out for me like the other 4 do because they all have a story to tell. For me, I think top 3 is Green Lantern Corps, Supergirl, and Batman and Robin. And I'm having a tough time picking between the 3. I really am. But
that's a rough one.
But
if it was me, it would have to be Batman and Robin with Rick.
and it is fantastic. The only thing that kind of gets me is where Batman's looking. And it's a tiny little nitpick, but it looks like he's not looking at Etrigan at all. You know, it looks like he's just looking at himself.
Well, he's staring into the mirror. That's how he's able to talk to Etrigan.
Yeah, and Etrigan's also coming out of the mirror because you see Batman's reflection in the mirror too.
I think that's supposed to be symbolic.
Yeah. For me though,
I will say one thing, dude. Like when I looked at this cover,
yeah,
you know, the text throws me off on that, but the rip in Robin,
yeah,
has gotten better every month.
Yeah,
and this shit looks 3D.
It does.
Like
yeah,
it almost looks like it is coming off my fucking monitor right now. I'm sitting here staring at it, and I'm like, I wonder if I could feel that. It is. I will fucking say here, Fernandez on this cover. I believe it was Fernandez and Malo that did this. Yeah, Javi Fernandez and Malo that did the cover. I think so. It was. It is a really good one. I just can't stand word bubbles.
Yeah, that's fair. No, this one is very, very cool. Green Lantern Corps just tells so much. I don't mind the faces either because, like I said, I love Fernando Pasarin. Again, the only thing that's bugging me is what Space Cabby's looking at because he's kind of looking in different directions from everybody else, and I don't know what at.
I don't know the fucking logo. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Right? Like everybody else has something cool going on, and then Space Cabby's just like doing something else, and like because that's not as apparent, it kind of pulls the story out for me a little bit. So that's a problem. So I am going to pick Supergirl.
Ooh,
yes, as my number one because it tells all the story you need it to. It has some fun on it, and what you see on the cover is literally what you get in the issue. You have two Supergirls fighting. You have Titano the Space Ape, or Super Ape, and you have boring small talk with Kara and her friends. That actually happens in this issue.
I mean, it does, but I can say, like, if I walked up and I saw this on the cover, it definitely wouldn't make me want to pick this out over top of other comics.
It would definitely have the opposite effect for me. Okay,
good.
I need to know what this boring small talk is.
Good. That makes me happy to hear. If it's out there, then I hope it's fucking working.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm gonna keep reading it because it's Supergirl.
Yeah,
I don't need to be sucked into it either.
Exactly. And I get where you're coming from too. Like I completely understand the idea of not caring for word bubbles on cover because you're looking for an image, you're not looking for text.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Needs just got to be something. Obviously, we gave up on the idea that a cover has to have something to do with the contents a long time ago.
Yeah.
I feel like it should. I feel like a cover should just look cool, and I guess that's what I've relegated it to. I don't like the word bubbles, but I'm a sucker for Virgin, so
yeah, understandable. Yeah, so Supergirl is my cover of the week.
Marketing wise, 100% is right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
I'm just so fucking smitten with the fact that everything we see on the cover happens in the book.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And it while I'm looking at it and saying, that wouldn't attract me to it. It is loud and it does
It'll
catch
stand out
your
on
eye.
Yeah.
It definitely will. It definitely will.
Especially
So
with
yeah,
the white background helps it
Yeah.
pop a little more. Like it'll stand out on a comic rack easily.
can't go wrong with the white background.
Yeah.
But all right, man. That is it, and that is all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's week releases. Same geek time, same geek channel, and that is the show. We're getting out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, the Geek Matrix, everyone has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.